welcome to our brand new video chat show, Minifest and Chill. I am Phil. I'm joined here with Kurt
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
and Pat.
What's up, guys?
All right, and this is our very first show, and we're going to get right to it with some very exciting news today that Nintendo finally gave us all the specs and this stuff and all the details on Switch 2. Um, So we're going to get right down to it. We're going to start talking about the console itself, and then a little later we're going to go into the games. So far we've got 4K up to 120 frames per second, a little bit bigger screen, same thickness, new features which we're going to talk about right now. We're going to start with the C button feature, the game chat feature. What do you guys think about the game chat feature?
Go ahead, Kurt.
It's cool. It's cool. I don't know how much I would use it just with my current setup, and the way I generally play. I was talking to my wife about it though, like, sometimes we play with her sister and the fiance, and sometimes we play with my mysterious sister as well. And like, so it will be convenient to be able to chat with them, while doing that. I don't know if the camera is necessarily for me, but I am curious to see how else they use it in games. I do think that Xbox is probably rolling over in their offices over in Washington right now because a lot of this sounds very familiar to some things they tried with the Xbox One, which of course did not go so well. So it's kind of funny they're Nintendo's doing it. People seem to think it a lot better. But no, it's cool. I'm glad they're finally taking chat seriously and trying something with this. I do think with streaming, it's going to be really cool for people who stream, and I think it has a lot of potential. To me, again, the main thing is like I don't know if I'm going to necessarily sit there while you guys are playing different games and like I want to play mine. Like I want to focus on mine. But again, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. The one that jumped to mind for me, they kept showing Mario Kart, but obviously Smash. Smash is going to be a lot of fun. We play a lot of Smash together, and I think that will be fun. It's just more fun when you can hear someone yell or get like fired up when you hit them or when they hit you or whatever. So I do think it'll have its place where it'll be fun, but it's not something I'm going to use very often.
Right, and I think obviously they showed Mario Kart because,
Right.
that was the big launch
Right.
title. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Actually, I've gotten a couple of my friends have asked me about streaming, actually, and I wonder if you'll be able to um, play by yourself and still have like
That's a good
your
point.
face
That's a
image
good point.
there, which would be really good for
Yeah.
streaming because you could literally just capture the game and have your face already
Yeah.
in there.
That's a good point.
That's a good
So,
point. I think it'd be great for the tournaments if we can have everybody lined up there on the bottom of the screen and we're recording video and then able to upload it. Then you have everybody's reactions. It's almost like a mini podcast all in itself, really.
Yeah.
yeah, I I think it'll be really cool. Um, Not really into like the interactive parts of it, like the whole Mario Party game. I'm just in it just because then we can see each other while we're playing. And another cool thing that I thought about is we could just hang out. We could all still play our own thing, but just still be together in this little chat room and but see what, each of us are playing. Like, oh, Pat, that's cool. What are you doing there?
True.
Or Kurt, like I saw you got second place, so close.
True. True.
Or the Riddler trophy is right
True.
behind
Oh
them.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I that's gonna be a crazy, crazy feature because I mean, because you'll be able to play Switch One games.
Yeah. That's true.
Um,
Certain
yeah,
Certain,
ones.
right. That's what I think. I mean, yeah,
They made sure to specify certain titles
yeah.
will be
So,
yeah,
available.
well, I'm thinking they probably won't have like the Labo
yeah. So
games.
they've put out a
Right.
thing. I think Nintendo Life had a good summary of what can it. Yeah, Nintendo Labo, Switch Sports. You can't do the soccer game because it doesn't fit into the strap. It looks like you can do the other Switch Sports, and Ring Fit Adventure, similar thing. So for the most part, you can do them, and it looked like a lot of these new features will be on most of the new games. But yeah, mostly backwards compatible, which is great.
Right. You'd hope so,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So the microphone comes built into the console. There's also a microphone in the Pro controller. The Pro controller looks pretty cool. Some new buttons on the bottom so you can map. I wonder what they're going to be. I guess you can map them to
That's what
anything
that's
you
what it
want.
sounded like.
Any of the known
Yeah.
buttons are mappable to GL and
Okay.
GR, which is kind of cool because a lot of third-party controllers that I've just picked up for extras, like bringing to Nerdfest and Minifest and stuff, most of them have that kind of functionality. So to put that on like a first-party, like OEM stuff, like
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Granted, there's not like a lot of things like you and me and any of the other nerds would be like, yeah, A for jump is great, but what if I could just hit that with my ring finger or something like that? That might be a little bit more intuitive for me to pick this up, or like the rudder on planes for flying games or something like that.
That's a good point.
And it's interesting you say that. Oh, sorry.
And the camera looks like it's going to retail for $50.
Wow. I actually
But,
thought it would be more. Okay. Just
yeah.
based on how all the other prices are, I thought it'd be more.
The controller will be $80, and the camera, since it's USB-C, I'm guessing you can use it for other stuff too. It's
Right.
probably just a decent webcam that autofocuses, and uh, judging by how it looks, it probably
Mm.
tracks movement to a point.
Right.
Because it's like spherical. So for those games like Mario Party Jamboree, where you're going to be moving a whole lot, moving around the room, it probably tracks movement. Or if there's a group of people, maybe it will kind of zoom out and see them. I don't know. Everything's still speculation right now. We still don't know a whole lot of stuff.
Did you
Even though,
notice too that it had backgrounds
Mm.
behind people?
yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was kind of cool. So that's why I was thinking it probably at least autofocuses on you,
Right.
and then it'll just kind of make a background out of anything behind you, which is cool because sometimes the basement's a mess and I don't want people to see it.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next? The micro SD card can only take express micro SD cards. So bad news for those of us that have the normal micro SD cards, you cannot use them in the new Switch, and they are more expensive. I think to double your memory, it's going to cost you $60. So I think Pat, didn't you see a terabyte one was like $200, something
Yeah.
like that?
Spence mentioned
Oh,
that over in the
Spencer, that's what it
Nerdfest
was.
chat. Yeah. And that's just I mean, I think we'd all like to just go ahead and double or triple the capacity right off the bat just to be safe, but for that kind of a price tag, I think I can wait.
Well, because the games themselves are going to be more
Right.
storage for sure. So yeah, I mean we're getting more than double the amount of space internally, but you got to remember those games are going to be a lot bigger too.
Right. So that'll probably even out from the Switch One's original memory.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Let's see, 4K. That's going to be awesome to see. The new because we'll get into games later, but I will say the new Metroid Prime looks really
Yeah.
good. So
And
100%.
I'm really interested to see what that's going to look
yeah,
like.
I watched the stream. I think I don't know how you were able to do it, Pat, but like I watched it on my phone at work and in someone's office, and it looked cool and everything. But I just rewatched some of the main highlights on my TV, and oh, it looks very nice. It looks, if you haven't seen it on a TV,
Yes.
watch some of these trailers. I mean, Prime 4
I
especially.
plead the fifth on how I watched it.
You're good. Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, like I just watched it and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is cool, and oh,
No, but
4K.
I'm with
And
you.
like, yeah, my
All of the Prime games
yes.
from 1 to 3 have been absolute rainbow
Yeah,
vomit, and 4 is no
yeah,
exception.
and to see it in 4K 120, it's just like that. I didn't expect that, honestly. I knew there were thoughts that it could be 4K, and I'd hoped it would, but to see, I didn't know first part. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised by that. I'm really excited for that, but we'll get to games.
Yeah. Welcome to the future, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do we have about the Switch itself?
Mouse
Mouse
controls.
controls.
Oh, right. Of
Yeah.
course. How could I forget about the mouse controllers? That's the big gimmick. That's the
I don't
big
know about you guys, but I'm hoping for like a Mario Paint 2.
Yeah, yeah. I
okay.
think that'd be pretty cool.
I want that fly swatter game back
Yeah,
again.
or at the very least, they could put it on
I,
NSO theoretically. I guess, yeah. I mean, technically,
right.
the SNES
Well,
games are
think
on.
Mario
Yeah,
Maker, what, 3?
yeah, yes. Mario Maker 3. Yeah, the ones that stand out. Mario Maker 3 would be awesome. I'm glad they showed Civilization. That would be great with it, of course. Splatoon 4, which is inevitable. That's going to be really cool with that, especially because the gyro aiming's cool, but I think doing with a mouse will be really neat. And actually, and we already mentioned Prime 4. I mean, they showed, I'm not going to play it this way, but they showed you can play Prime 4 with a mouse, which is a really cool concept.
Right.
It kind of opens up for third party support with PC,
Mm,
possibly. You know, like real time strategy
yeah.
games, like, you know, just mouse click. Because they tried doing that with, what did they try doing that with? So, like, Halo Wars was a good concept, but,
Hmm.
like, trying to play a game like that with a controller is
Mm,
challenging. A game
RTS
like that,
games,
yeah.
yeah.
RTS games need a mouse and they need a keyboard. You can get away without the keyboard to an extent, but mouse functionality is almost. It's hard using a stick when you're like, okay, I need this army to go here and that group to go there, and I need this to go here, and I need these guys to build this farm, and you've got two sticks. One of
So,
them does
yeah,
what you want.
you could almost use the mouse, one of the Joy-Con 2s as a mouse, and the other one as just buttons to take
Right?
place of the keyboard.
Yeah.
I also wonder if they're ever going to put out a keyboard.
They may. The other thing,
I mean, with this 4K functionality and this mouse functionality, I would love to see Steam on
mm,
Nintendo.
Well,
Just saying.
we'll
they
see what happens with
they
that.
also
Yeah, right.
interestingly didn't show, and I'm not surprised by this, but they didn't show anyone actually using the mouse. And the reason I bring that up is like, do I need like a flat surface? Can I do it on the arm of my couch? Can I do it on my leg? Like, I would have liked to have seen
Great
to put some
question.
of those fears, because that's why I don't plan on using mouse too much. Is I'm doing it on the couch. You know, I'm relaxing. I don't. There's a whole reason I don't play computer games, partially for this
Right.
reason. I don't want to be sitting at a table, you know, at a desk. So I wish they would have shown how that works. And they will. They have Treehouse they have some Treehouse shows coming up on the third and the fourth here, so they are going to show some of these things. But that's one of my big outstanding questions: is how exactly will that work? Because yeah, I'm just curious.
Good question.
Interestingly enough, I'm sure we all remember the original Switch trailer where they had a bunch of different scenes. You know, the guy on the airplane playing it, you know, putting it on the table, doing tabletop mode, and all this and that. They didn't really do too much of that with the mouse functionality.
Not nope.
So
Sure.
yeah, that's a great question to see just how well it's gonna pan out as far as that goes.
Right.
And real quick, just to not to backtrack too much, but real quick, speaking of functionality and gameplay and stuff, I forgot to mention with the microphone. I believe they showed some Mario Party mini games or being played with the microphone, or maybe I missed that. I thought I saw that at some point, but
Yeah, that was Jamboree
that's
TV.
it. So that's
Yeah.
fascinating to me because, as we all know, we would all love to see DS and maybe 3DS games come to Switch at some point. And for better or worse, some of those games have microphone controls. So it's interesting now that there's a microphone that's a part of the Switch too, because suddenly some of those games could be on the table again. So again, we'll see. It's a long way off. I'm happy with what we got, but it just I did kind of think when I saw that with Mario Party Jamboree, I'm like, certain things, and I didn't even like those controls, but it's just nice to know some of those games are back on the table potentially.
Yeah, good call.
All right. Well, speaking of games, should we get into the wide assortment of games that was showcased today?
Let's do it.
We'll
Yeah.
start with the big one, Mario Kart World. Um, Vastly different from what we've seen before in a Mario Kart game. Um, 24 starting position. We kind of already knew that though from the reveal of the Switch. So that's nothing new. The whole open world concept, that's new.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
It reminds me of a Forza Horizon game where you just kind of drive to, you know, in between races and stuff, and So that's cool. So I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Pat, what do you think?
I see that as an interesting concept. I mean, kids, I'm sure, love to drive around, see how far they can go and where they can go. What I did see in the trailer, though, was adults playing, and the guy was showing these other two, like, how to do a wall grind. And from the camera's perspective, like, you wouldn't have been able to tell that you could get up that high and get in that area where there's a boatload of coins. And I mean, like, we've been playing Mario Kart since the beginning, so obviously there's, level jumps and little shortcuts you can take. So that's almost like a way to explore the map without actually having to get into a game and go through the game and try to make that jump or try to make that cut, where you can just kind of free mode and figure out on your own, like, oh, it's faster to go this way, or maybe if I'm in a bind I can go up on this wall, or holy crap, I didn't know I could get up on this wall. Like, it's not obvious. So I see it more of a better thing for that. Like, get in and explore what we made. Really dig into it and not just have it flying past you like the first level of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's how I see it.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it looked really.
About you, Kurt?
Yeah, I thought it looked really. I thought it looked really cool. Sorry, I'm just thinking like my one concern when we saw the initial, 5 seconds a couple months ago, and then it's kind of still here, is like to me, my favorite Mario Kart levels are the disco themed one, or Wario's Mountain, or even the squeaky clean bathroom one. It was gross, but it was cool. And these looked like different outdoor terrain, almost realistic, if you will, ones. Like I didn't see some of those like just wacky but super colorful, super bright ones. So that was my only kind of disappointment there. But overall, I mean, I think 24 is cool. I love everything else about it. I mean, I love the costumes. I think is a really cool idea to have different costumes. I love different, wall jumping, the hoverboat thing or hovercraft. I mean, obviously gave me Diddy Kong Racing vibes, and we're never going to get another one of those. So I like seeing that. I like, new items, a ton of characters, because obviously it's 24 people, so you got to have a ton of characters. I also think it was interesting that, there's the cow from Moo Moo Meadows, or Charge and Chuck, because I think a lot of us have been speculating for a long time that they might go full Nintendo Kart and have Samus and Fox and Link was already there, Zelda, some of these others. And so I think it's interesting that that's who we were kind of all thinking we might see, and instead it's like you can be a cow. So they're doubling down on keeping it Mario Kart and just strictly Mario, which is cool, which is totally fine. But yeah, I think I think too there's a lot of like what could they do differently, and I think making it 24, that's different. The wall jumping, that is really cool and different. And again, the costumes looks fun. To me, the mode that looked the most fun to me is the new one, the knockout mode, where it's like you're driving and on this race you have to finish in the top 16. This race you have to finish top four or whatever. I thought that looked like a lot of fun, especially with 24 people. So I'm really excited to try something like that. And yeah, and the other thing too, for listeners out there who don't know all that we do, we of course do these fundraisers and these video game tournaments, and we do Mario Kart. We've done Mario Kart a few times, and like it's just gonna be really cool sometime to do all of us play the same exact Grand Prix. 24 people. Theoretically, I mean, if we connect a bunch of switches, I guess they didn't really show that, but I assume you can have 24 actual people playing at the same time. I think it'll be really, really fun to have all the people that we get do the thing at the same time. I think it'll be neat.
Absolutely.
I probably online only though.
Probably. Unless you like link
Because they
them.
haven't. I mean,
Well, we'll find out because they're doing the treehouse
I'm
stuff,
not
so we'll get
sure
some better ideas.
because they don't really. Yeah, they don't really touch base on that. In fact, now that I think about it, is the new Switch going to have a built-in Ethernet port? Do we know that?
They showed a picture of the back of it, but
I
I
can't remember.
didn't
Yeah,
look.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
I would hope that they do.
Yeah, I would hope so, but I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to look. But yeah, yeah.
Now, did they mention that they were going to have like the traditional game modes in this Mario Kart, like Grand Prix, just verse race?
Yeah, they did.
It seemed like it did,
Yeah,
but the addition of knockout mode was new.
yeah, Grand Prix they showed, yeah, knockout mode and like an exploration mode where you just drive around for fun. They did not show battle mode. So take it or leave it. They
Okay.
might not do that. And obviously 8 didn't have battle mode
Huh.
originally, so who knows?
Yeah, I wonder if they're just taking inspiration from games like Breath of the Wild
It felt
and
like
trying to
Mario Kart of the
incorporate that into
Wild.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart
Because I'm,
Frontiers. Yeah, yeah.
all right, so that's enough Mario Kart. Let's go on to this Switch 2 welcome tour. We won't spend a whole lot of time with that.
Not neither will anybody else.
No, no, exactly. I wonder how much it's
It's
going to be.
paid, and that's the surprising part.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Yeah, because
I mentioned
it's
it in
basically an Astrobot game.
Barely,
Right. I
barely. Yeah.
mentioned it
So,
over in the Nerdfest Facebook page, but my theory is that Nintendo is going to take data from that so that it'll be like, oh, here's some mouse mini games or here's some
mm,
camera mini games, and a bunch of us will jump in and play it, and they'll get feedback like how many people were interested in that feature, how did they do this, how did they do that, and it'll be a reasonable way for them to find out like what gimmick or what feature is liked, what's not liked. Obviously, compare that to what they hear on social media and things like that. And if that's the way it's going to go, my opinion is Nintendo can pay me to play test for them. I'm not going to pay for a tech demo game just so they can get some free handouts plus a little money of mine on the side.
Yeah, I'm so curious how much they're going to charge for this. I haven't seen that one go up for sale for good reason because it's insane. And it's interesting. I mean, I put in the group how, the Wii, had Wii Sports, of course, as a pack-in, which was brilliant and everything else. It did not in Japan. They don't like Nintendo doesn't like pack-ins. Their philosophy is if we made it, why would we give it away for free? Which I understand to a degree. This though is barely a game. I don't know how to me this was the most, and we'll get to pricing and other stuff later, but to me this was the most egregious thing of the whole day is that they're going to charge for this. Yeah, 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 not interested.
yeah, no, I'm probably gonna pass on that one too. All right, so up next, Kirby Air Riders. Who here has played the original Kirby Air Ride? There's Pat,
I've not.
Kurt, no? Yeah, so I haven't played, I always saw how fun it looked in the Nintendo Power magazines, but never got it, never played it. So I don't know, I might dip into this one.
Everybody at the time, like I think Double Dash came out first and then Air Ride came out after. So when everybody got into Double Dash and was like, "Oh, we like this complex character flipping, item juggling thing," and then Air Ride came out, everybody sort of assumed that Air Ride would either be similarly complex or have its own thing. And in contrast, Air Ride was really, really, really simplistic, and it got a lot of hate for that. But it was also super easy to pick up and really, really fun to play. And you could change the difficulties so that it could either be an on rails, just follow the lines, or it could actually be rather complicated. And then it got popular, but there was never a follow up on it. Just reading about it recently, I guess that thing went through development hell and actually started with the Nintendo 64 and just got postponed into the point where the GameCube had been out for a few years, and they were like, let's just make it on this. So then it went to there. I'm really excited to see it, and I had no idea it was coming. So it was kind of nice of Nintendo to be like, you guys are anticipating everything. Kirby Air Rider 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from the trailer at first, because like sometimes with Smash Brothers trailers, they will have Kirby as like, the first thing that you see because it's Sakurai.
Yeah.
It's his baby and his other baby.
Right.
Um, so but I did figure it's way too early for a Smash Brothers announcement. If I'm sure we're going to get one. What it's going to be is going to be in the air. But
I was fully
we'll
expecting.
speculate that for another time.
Yeah, I was fully expecting Kid Icarus Uprising like a port, and because I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot about it and watched stuff, and apparently the controls are really a pain, and a lot of people have said mouse controls would have solved it. And so when we knew that Sakurai was not only working on a game but almost done with a game, he announced that in the fall, and then once we got wind of this mouse stuff, I was like, oh, it makes too much sense. He was very proud of that game. That was another, his one before the last two Smash games, so it just made a lot of sense that that would be it. So I was shocked that this is the game he was working on instead. And it looks fun. It looks really cool. what a year for racing games. Because I just saw on Facebook, Sonic Cross World, they posted something about Mario Kart, in a playful way. And that one looks really sick too. So I think there's a lot of, anyway, so it's cool. There's a lot of racing games this year. Racing fans are in for a treat.
Here's the random thought. Um, what would you think about like the Sonic characters being included in Mario Kart World? How about that? Like a DLC matchup. That'd be nuts.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
If I'm not mistaken, Sega has done Sega Rally in the past,
That
which was
sounds
just
right.
Mario Kart with Sega characters,
Yep. And they've done,
but they haven't crossed, have they?
they've never crossed now. And they've done Sonic Racing, like they've done a couple iterations of that now, but they're always strictly the Sonic characters. So yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we got the Olympic Games,
We did get
so
the Olympic Games. Yeah,
I mean, now's the time.
yeah.
all right. It is good to see Sakurai back directing this new Kirby game. So it should be good. So we'll check it out. And now the return of Donkey Kong after how long? How
How long
long?
has it been? I mean, so because it was a Tropical Freeze, which came out on Wii U. Anyway, I can't remember. It's so pre 2017, and then they ported it to Switch in 2018. And then other than that, that's the funny thing. The Switch was such a reliable generation for so many franchises that were either reinvented or just brought back from the dead. And then Donkey Kong got a ported Wii U game. We got Mario vs. Donkey Kong game this year, whenever that was last year, but which is just a lazy remaster of a short Game Boy game. And then it got Donkey Kong Returns this year, which is the second time they've redone that game. That was the third version of that game. So it's kind of funny that the Switch, for all it did for all these franchises, just kind of did Donkey Kong wrong. And so, yeah, so I'm thrilled about this. I was shocked. I was convinced and I'm still convinced we're getting a 3D Mario this year, but I thought that was going to be their closer. So when they showed it, I was like, oh wow, this is their fall game, and it's coming in July. It's coming a month after the Switch 2 comes out, which is awesome. I never saw that coming. Um, as a longtime fan of the character, it was my favorite Super Nintendo games growing up. Huge fan of Donkey Kong, all that. Don't love the redesign. Don't feel he needed one. I think they're trying to get more in line with the movie design, trying to get more away from the rare design, which defined Donkey Kong for the past 20 years. So I don't love the redesign, but that being said, I mean, he looks so fluffy. The graphics are incredible. It looks so much fun. And it's been too long since we've had a 3D Donkey Kong game. It's been since 64, which I think that was in like 99 or so. And that was a fun game. I loved it. I know it's not a great game. It was, all the worst things about that era of 3D platformers. But anyway, I'm excited for a proper new 3D Donkey Kong game. And yeah, I mean, he's at the theme park, in the new part of the theme park, and he's a big part of the movies. Donkey Kong's having a revival, so it only makes sense that they'd finally give him a new game after maybe 12 years. I'll look it up. I mean, it's been a long time since he got a brand new game, so I'm thrilled about that.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're thrilled because I'm not a huge Donkey Kong fan, but I'm glad to see his return and his new look.
He's got the new look.
Yeah, that's like a cross between classic Donkey Kong and the one from the movie.
Yeah, yeah. And he's still got the
I
tie,
guess he
thankfully, too.
looks good too, like with the fur.
Yes, he
Like
looks amazing. Yeah,
looked really good.
yeah. And it
I
was,
really can't
Nintendo.
tell you why. That trailer kind of blew me out of the water. Like, I just loved how it was presented.
yeah,
Like, the music was banging, the visuals were awesome. Like, it just had an awful lot of heart for a Donkey Kong digging game. Like, I
Yeah,
want to buy the thing.
mhm,
I had no interest in it, but I want to buy it.
yeah,
they were waiting for this one. I think
yeah.
they were waiting for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and it's gonna be
All
interesting
right.
too because of course,
Um,
Rare made the original trilogy and then 64, and then there were a couple spin-offs and things, and then Retro made the most recent ones, and of course Retro, as we all know, we all love Prime. Retro doesn't miss. So I'm curious who's doing this one. Hopefully it's one of their A teams because and it looks like it is. I mean, it looks fantastic. So yeah,
Yeah, it does.
speaking of retro, it's time
yep,
for Prime.
yep, finally,
um, Metroid Prime 4 looks really good, and it's got two different modes to play. You got your 4K, uh, 60 frames per second, or you could do a more what, performance mode
Performance mode,
Yeah.
yeah.
at 1080p for 120 frames per second. I don't think Nintendo's ever made something that fast. So
It's
I'll
retro, baby.
probably end
That's
up
retro.
playing in like the 60 frames per second one, but I will definitely try out the 120 just to see what all the fuss is about.
Right.
Yeah.
I am curious though, like I love Metroid. It's the series that I love the most from Nintendo. But I saw in the last Switch One Direct that like the new kind of way that Samus controls the environment is like telepathy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And while you know I never met a Metroid game that I played that I hated, but I'm so used to being like, okay, like what can that arm cannon do, or what can a new visor mode can do? The telepathy thing is kind of slipping me a little bit. Like I'm still gonna play it, and I'm still probably gonna love it. But when I saw that it was like, oh, well, now Samus can do mental things, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, well, we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. It's gonna be beautiful, but really with the telepathy thing, all right,
Yeah, it's a shame because one of the coolest things I think is how you can control the beam shot and stuff. So I love that feature. Did it have to be telepathy? I don't know. And opening door, I mean, honestly, the other stuff kind of felt like Ultra Hand to me from Tears of the Kingdom. Like opening the doors by like going like this and then sliding over and moving a switch that they showed. It just so it's kind of interesting. I was like, huh, I know where they got that idea. But yeah, I don't. Hopefully, there's a better in-story excuse or reason for it because yeah, I mean story wise and stuff, I'm kind of like okay, not my favorite feature, but I do think certain things like, and we've only scratched the surface, of course. I'm sure they're keeping a ton of secrets, but I think the beam controlling your beam shot I think is awesome, and I think the Switch 2 footage we saw absolutely gorgeous. Again, I watched it on the big screen when I got home. It looks absolutely gorgeous, so I can't wait. I think my biggest surprise from this direct, there were a lot of surprises. One of them is we still don't have a date for this. I have no idea why. Not even a season. I don't know why they couldn't say summer, fall,
Right.
holiday. At this point, I was convinced it was a launch game when they didn't give it to us last week. At this point, I don't know what the heck they're waiting for because it looks pretty well along. So this year, at some point.
Um, Other than Prime 4, we also have Pokemon Legends ZA. Looks good. Um, I'm excited to play that, excited to try it out. This will be my first brand new Pokemon game that I play. So, because I'm still catching up in the franchise. I'm a little late to the game here.
Better late than
But
never.
thanks to Kurt, I'm pretty hooked on it. So,
Good. Yeah.
yeah.
No, look, it looks. Yeah. I was hoping they would do this too, because there were quite a few Switch games that people kind of criticized for performance issues in the recent years, and this was one of them. That stuff doesn't bother me, but if it's going to look better and run better, sure, I love it. Sounds great. So I'm excited.
Well, that also leads me into Scarlet and Violet are getting a free Switch 2 upgrade. So
Yeah.
we'll see how they run and look.
Yep.
Um,
I didn't see this come. And real quick,
all right, so that's it
oh,
for
I was just gonna say the
yeah.
upgrade thing. Are we gonna get to the upgrade thing, or should I just go now about that?
Go
Ba-
ahead.
yeah. So basically, I mean, there were a lot of questions about how they would handle backwards compatibility. Is it just going to port over your basic Switch games? Can you pay for an upgrade? Do you have to rebuy the whole darn game again? And we got all those answers today, and I love the answers we got. Some of the games, Scarlet Violet, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, which again criticized performance issues, they're getting free upgrades. That's awesome. I love it. And then some of the big ones, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you can buy a pack. Or, and this is the best part, if you're an NSO member, it's included. So we are going to be able to play the 4K upgraded Breath of the Wild Tears and it also transfers the saves over. They had an app in there as well. I don't know if I'm going to use that so much, but I mean, just I'm so excited about that, and I am just so pleasantly surprised because I did not expect them to do this. I thought they would. They're Nintendo. They make us pay for things twice all the time. So the fact that they are letting us, who already bought Tears and Breath and some of these games, the fact that they're letting us upgrade like this, even if we didn't have SNO, we could pay to upgrade. I think is awesome. And again, shout out to Microsoft because they're the ones who kind of paved the way with this with Xbox Series X. They said you buy a game once, you own it. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I had that on Xbox One. I got the new one, upgrade automatically. They were the first franchise or of the big three to do that. Sony sort of followed suit, Dragging and Screaming, and I just never thought Nintendo would. So I'm thrilled by their plans for upgrading to Switch 2 with the games you have. So really excited about that.
Yeah, it's a great point.
All right, so speaking of NSO, thank you again, Kurt. Um, GameCube games are coming at launch for the Switch 2, and there is no added tier, no upcharge. That is the part that shocked me the most. I
Yep,
was kind of
amazing
expecting
news.
GameCube games to make their way, and this answers my question. This is why they never gave us Wind Waker and Twilight
Yep,
Princess, because they were saving them for this.
yep,
And it's kind of bittersweet because I would have taken the HD versions over these, but they
me too.
did mention that they're going to look and run better. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We got 3 games coming: Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. That is a nice little package there. And some games that are coming. What games are coming? Other
Path
games are
of
coming.
Radiance,
Do
Mario
you think?
Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which had? Yep. Oh, here we go. I got the list here. Um, Pikmin, Fire Emblem,
Well,
Mario
that's
Strikers,
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Coliseum,
Right.
I think. Yep, yep, yep.
Sorry. And then Pokemon Coliseum. Right. And Luigi's Mansion, which is that's a good one.
Hmm.
Um, do you think? Do you think they'll put Melee on there?
They haven't put 64 on
Yeah.
N64 yet, so um, I'm skeptical. I mean, it makes sense, but so does 64 on there, and so
Yeah,
does
I mean
Pokemon Blue
there's
and
a
Red. So
big
who knows?
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There would be a huge draw to be able to play Melee online. A
Yeah.
massively huge draw.
Yeah.
But you would think that the 64 would come first, but Nintendo doesn't always do what you expect it to. So,
Right.
yeah,
And Melee is vastly more popular than the original Smash, so we'll
that's
see
fair.
what they
Yeah,
do.
it's the
yeah, that's
king.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I hope Twilight Princess will make its debut so that Pat here can play it for the first time.
I
It is a
want to play
one
it.
It's a wonderful game. It's my favorite game. I've been waiting to play it on the go for it's been 84 years now. But I'm confident that it's going to come soon, hopefully this year, probably in like a shadow drop, a shadow X tweet or whatever, but we'll see.
If it
the
My
one that
doesn't,
I'm
it's all your fault.
my pipe dream is sorry.
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
My pipe dream is that they are working on a remake, but probably not.
I think the one that Wind Waker obviously stands out to me. Soul Calibur 2, we made popular again. We'll get to later, but it was at Wreckfest, of course. It's going to be at Nerdfest 13, and so it's kind of hilarious that 2 months later it'll be on NSO. But it's a fantastic game, highly recommend. The one I'm most looking forward to though is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I've never played it. I've heard some people say it's the best in the series. It's also like the most expensive if you want to try and rebuy it. So it's one that I would never have the chance to play if it wasn't on NSO. So I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to playing that. All right, so lastly, for the direct today, we got hit with a lot of third party games. A lot of third party games. So rather than trying to go through the list, how about we just point out some ones that we're mostly excited about? Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade, finally. I am so excited about that because it gives me hope that the rest of the trilogy will also eventually come to the Switch 2. Because Square Enix has openly stated that they want the whole trilogy on one platform. And I know that's probably just PS5, but we'll wait and see if the rest of the games come to Switch 2.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll finally get to play it. Like I say, on a console that I own. I don't own a Switch 2 yet, but I also don't want to go drop coin on a PS5 when the only game I want to play on the PS5 is Final Fantasy VII Remake and maybe the Spider-Man games. But other than that, like,
Well, now if you like Remake, you can play Rebirth on the same console, so that's another game.
all right. So that's four
So,
games for the price of one incredibly expensive PS5.
top topic for another
All
day,
right.
but uh,
What games are you
okay.
guys looking forward to out
Go,
of the
Kurt.
third party list?
So and real quick, topic for another day, Pat.
I'm
There have
actually
been.
looking
Okay.
forward to. No, you go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that there's been rumors that Steam might be coming to Xbox, and the reason I mention that is that would open up Spider-Man, Final Fantasy, and all the PlayStation games they put on Steam would suddenly be available to us. So that's something for you and I to watch very closely because then we really don't need a PlayStation, and all the people freaking out about
Mhm.
Xbox going non-exclusive. Uh, Sony's doing the same thing, baby. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that when you mentioned the needing a PlayStation thing. So anyway, but yeah, for you, what third parties did you most look forward to?
Yeah, right.
Uh, what do you
I'm
think?
seeing an
Third
awful
party?
lot of
Yeah.
big names that are coming onto this third party title, and some of them, like the Final Fantasy VII remake. It's really cool to see because they are bright, beautiful HD games that bigger consoles that we consider the Nintendo have been tackling. So seeing them come on to the Switch 2 is it's good to see. I mean, Nintendo's stepping into a big world that they've just kind of been comfortable staying away from and making good games. So now they're going to make big, pretty games. But I mean, outside all the big names, the Civ Sevens, Street Fighter Six look like it could be fun. I'm sure Kurt, you're looking forward to Hades too. I bet.
Very much.
Um, Project 007 caught my eye, and I
Hmm.
don't know anything about it yet, but I have heard some rumors about this a long time ago, and I can't remember what the game was called. I think it was like 007 Legends or something like that, where it took like chapters from Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, Pierce Brosnan, and kind of made it into one game. And it was a great idea. It was badly executed, and it did not sell well. So I'm not sure what this could be. Maybe it's another hash at trying to create a Bond universe out of all the different Bonds. Maybe I'm completely out of the blue and it could be something completely different. But the fact that we got like a 4 second teaser and a logo makes me curious. I've still got that golden eye itch in my thumb, so whatever it is, I'm going to try it because I do love the 007 franchise.
I am interested in Borderlands 4. I was planning on getting it for PS5, but now that it's coming out to Switch 2, not sure if it's going to be coming out at the same time. They didn't mention that.
Good catch.
But my big thing with Borderlands 3 that I just generally did not like at all, and this is going to be a trivial thing, but the text size was so small, and I had to like stand up, get closer to the. I felt like an old man playing this game because I could not see, I could not read what was going on the screen, and that actually kind of reminds me. I just started Monster Hunter Worlds, and real quick, one cool thing about that game is that in the beginning, it asks you whether you're going to be playing this on a desktop monitor or a TV, and the difference is the text size. So I'm like, more games should be like this. So yeah, I'm looking for. I think I'm gonna play Borderlands 4 on the Switch too. I think I'm gonna try that out.
Nice. You are right about that text size because I did play that as well. And just in the brief time I did, like I'd be trying to focus on something on the screen. Somebody's speaking and giving me an important plot point or a direction to go, and I'm trying to do the usual, subtitle kind of thing to see where I'm supposed to go, and I couldn't see it at all against the background because it was so small. So yeah, hopefully there's a change there. But
Um, I am also interested to see how Cyberpunk is going to run because I mean I played it on PS5 and it was fine, but I just know that when it first came out, it was littered with all these problems. So I'm curious to see how well it runs on Switch 2.
From what I've heard, I
Any
think
other
that they
games you
sort
guys are excited about?
yeah. Let's see. So I'll keep it short. Elden Ring, I'm interested in. I've never really played a Souls game, but I know everyone like acts like it's the greatest game of all time, and now it's on Switch. I might check it out. Like Pat said, Hades 2. I was hoping we get a release date, but that's okay. Thrilled for that one. Street Fighter 6, I have on Xbox, so I won't be getting, but I do recommend for anyone interested. It's a fantastic game. I almost picked it for Nerdfest 13, but I wanted to stick with one everyone knew, so I went to. The nice thing about Street Fighter 6 too is it confirmed amiibo support, amiibos, new amiibos. So that was something nice from today that I was not expecting. Is we are getting new amiibo. Amiibo are not dead, which I'm thrilled about. Later, they announced some Tears of the Kingdom amiibo as well, so that's pretty exciting. Madden, I am not going to buy Madden. They're garbage, but nice to see EA actually support Nintendo this time. They were very late to the party with the Switch. It's nice to see them get on board right off the bat, even if it is just the one game and this stupid soccer game. Um, the other one, I'm just looking at the list here. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade. Very excited about that. Definitely want to pick that one up. And then the other one, as I told you guys earlier, was the roller coaster I've been on from Team Cherry, because I convinced myself Silk Song would not be there today. Sure enough, there's Silk Song. I start freaking out. And sure enough, we get the vague 2025 release date. So no Silk Song news, as I expected, even though we got a little teaser. Um, Silksong infamously announced in 2019, radio silence until I believe it was 2022 when it showed up at an Xbox Direct when Phil Spencer said all these games will be coming out within the next year. Um, I don't hold it against him. I think that must be what they told him. But the point is, this game was supposed to come out by June 2023, and we're still waiting a release date. So roller coaster of emotions for me with that game the past during the stream today. But hey, it's good to see it's still alive. It's good to see it's still coming, and now they're shooting for a release date this year. So believe it when I see it. But overall, third party support was fantastic. Really exciting to see some recent AAA games now coming, and it looked like not like graphically downgraded or anything. I mean, they looked awesome. So really excited to see what else will be coming. Like we said, hopefully the rest of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy will be coming. And the big thing that was left off, and I'm sure we are going to hear from very soon, is I think I told you guys, or I texted someone that I was really expecting one of the videos to start. Hi, I'm Phil Spencer. This is blah blah blah, because I really thought Microsoft was going to have a presence today because he has said repeatedly that they're going to be on Switch too. So I was a little surprised they weren't, but that's okay because we know they will be. And so I'm still looking forward to seeing, and maybe it'll be at their showcase. Maybe, who knows? Now that Switch 2, the nice thing is now that this thing is out there, news can be flowing. Other places can be talking about them already. Sega said Sonic X Shadow Generations is coming to Switch 2, which is hilarious because like it's already on Switch. Whatever, that's fine. Great, bring it on. So anyway, the fun thing is now that this thing is out there, we're going to be hearing from other developers, other third parties and stuff. And the one that I'm waiting to hear from is their neighbors over there in Washington and hear what Microsoft will officially be bringing over. But overall, love the third party support so far and really happy with what we saw.
All right. So that's it for third party stuff. One one third party game that I didn't realize. I think in the beginning I blocked out the developers with KT, and I saw the Tears of the Kingdom and Zelda, and I was like, oh my god, what is this DLC? Are we gonna play as Zelda finally? In the past, like that's a great concept, or is it maybe it's a new game? And then it was Hyrule Warriors. I don't want to say I was disappointed, but I definitely would have preferred like DLC or something other than that. The games are fine. I enjoy them, um, but that's okay.
They have good stories. Yeah, the stories are fun. Not my favorite gameplay. Um, yeah. So I'll definitely be getting it. I'll definitely be playing it. I mean, I love that world. I love those characters. Just not my preferred gameplay for it. But cool to see.
Hashtag not my Zelda.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we have a little bit of time left. So that's all for the Switch 2 goodies. Um, let's take a quick recap of our most recent event, which was Wreckfest. Pat, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Uh, Once again, we gathered in Phil's basement. Uh, we had, was it 12 or 13 people that we wrangled up since it got rescheduled?
Hmm,
I think it was supposed to be
13
13, ended
maybe?
up with 12.
I
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
14. We got 14 people.
Oh,
Uh, Went fantastically well. We had a handful of some really great raffle prizes, including that basket from Jen, which we're super grateful for. Sharpie won the Gears of War 3 competition. We had Seth coming in winning Twisted Metal 3. Deke. Deke, you gotta watch, man. Deke's an absolute monster. And I think once Deke really gets used to the tournament setting and the noise and the chaos of how everything goes. I think we're going to see Deke on the podium soon. But he came through and clobbered Super Meat Boy. Phil, of course, winning Soul Cal 2. Good old Kurt winning Super Puzzle Fighter 2, which I had a lot of fun watching people play that because it's not the easiest game to just pick up and go. It's kind of a Tetris clone, but it's got its own thing going on. And people that don't like puzzle games are actually kind of getting into it. On the same hand, a lot of people came into this like, oh man, I can't wait to play Twisted Metal again. I had so much fun with that as a kid. And we all know nostalgia is very rose tinted glasses. And just about everybody came away with that, like, yeah, I should have just left that back when I was a kid. That did not age well. The memories are behind me. But we came in over our donation, which was great to see. Can't wait till the next one when we go over it again. We pulled in, was it
340.
340
Yep.
out of a goal of 300?
Yes.
So knocked that one out of the park again. Everybody had a good time. We got through it under time, even though we had hang-ups. So we just keep doing our thing and we keep getting better and better. Can't wait to see what we do with the next one.
Yep. And speaking of next one, stay tuned for more news on the next mini fest, whatever that'll be. But later this month we will have Nerdfest 13. Kurt, would you like to go into about that?
Sure, yeah, it's April 26th, 10 a.m. Up and it's gonna be I think it's 8 games, two well, one's a single player challenge, so it's Cuphead. So the theme is Fight Fest, so it's fighting games. But if you do just a bunch of button mash fighting games, it won't be a very fun tournament. So we mixed it up. Cuphead is one I've been pushing for many, many years, and so since we're running this one, I said screw it, we're doing Cuphead. So that's gonna be the single player challenge. We're doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. That's a two-player high score challenge. Then the brackets are gonna be Soul Calibur 2, which is awesome, and I can get some revenge on Phil for Wreckfest. But no, that'll be fun. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Towerfall, not a fighting game, but we all love it too much. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Balloon Battle, Wii Boxing, and I think I'm forgetting one besides Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's the one I'm most looking forward to. I've played a couple of the guys in the group already as we're all seeding and warming up for it, and it's a classic. It's still one of the best, and it's still so much fun. And so I'm really looking forward to playing that with everyone. Um, yeah, I think that's all of them. But yeah, again, 8 games. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have the raffle, costume contest, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a good time.
All right. Well, we're just about done here. So before we go, I would like to issue a challenge. So I had this thought the other day. Anyone who's really into video game music will like this, and it's actually a lot of fun. I did it myself. So the idea is to make a playlist of 26 songs, all right, and one for each letter of the alphabet. So you're gonna have 26 franchises, and then pick a game from each franchise, and then pick your favorite song from that franchise from that game. So, for example, A, Assassin's Creed Black Flag menu music. Okay. So then you're going to go through each letter, and I could not. I did all of them but three. So if you can't do all 26, don't worry about it because some letters like I and Q, they're pretty far and few between with games. Um, but yeah, I will. I already have my playlist made, so I'm gonna start working on a video for that. But I'd be really interested to see what you guys come up with, and anyone else that is watching or listening to this, feel free to also make one and share it with our Facebook page. There will be a link in the description, and there you can kind of see meet us and see other things that we do, see what we're all about, what we do for the community. Um, that's about it for tonight. Any last words, guys?
Go forth and be awesome.
Yep. Good luck getting your pre-orders in.
All right. And if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And we will be putting out a new episode monthly, or if there's a special circumstance like a surprise direct or something, maybe we'll hop on for 20 minutes, half an hour, just to share what our thoughts about that. Um, Other than that, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out, nerds.